Pro boxing fans, we are here in Congleton in Cheshire. Pete's Fury, first time I've been to your gym. The complex is beautiful. It's a nice sunny day, which makes things always better. First of all, how are you? How's things?
You know, I'm good. And a lot of people make the mistake when they say it's my gym. It's actually Huey's gym.
Fair enough. Yeah, Huey's gym.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm the lodger.
You're the lodger. Yeah, fair enough. But look, it's fantastic state-of-the-art stuff in there. You know, media workout today for Sav, and if you're the other.
Have you not been before there?
I've not been. No, not to this one.
No, it's a nice facility.
It is. It's a great place for fighters to train because it can be brutal. Training camps can be brutal, so having something looking a bit nice sometimes it might be good for them. But you know better than me, don't you?
Well, you know, it's in the countryside, and you know, nobody can hear the screams and the shouting, so it's not bad.
The torture that you pump through.
The torture chamber, yeah. That's what it should be.
Let's talk about, first of all, so Savannah Marshall, obviously, she's had a frustrating couple of months. She's aired it publicly in regards to what's happened, and I don't really want to get into that with yourself or even with Sav. But talk to me, how glad are you that she's finally got into a big fight on a big platform, on a big card?
I think it's amazing. I think it's all good. She's been offered a fantastic deal by MVP Promotions. And they've worked hard with Hennessy Sports to get Savannah on this card and put her in a good fight. You know, the best of fights. So it's going to be interesting.
With the fighter who goes through certain frustration, she was telling me, she was asking you, am I good enough, Peter? Is that why people don't want me to fight? Is that the situation that she was in, that mentally she was probably asking you questions? Why is no one taking me on? Why am I not on these cards? Is that the situation she was in a couple of months ago?
Maybe, but I think a lot of it, you know, when you move out of a sport and you go and take another sport, then you'll lose a lot of fan base anyway, because people think you've almost retired.
Okay.
You're easily forgotten in this game. But I think since she's come back into the boxing and she's given it a few goes, she's had a few mishaps with different things and she's been let down. But like you said, it's not about the past, it's not about the negatives, it's what positives comes out of the negatives. And now she's with this new promotion, and you know, they've been perfect for her, and she's very, very happy where she is.
Talking about this new promotion, Jake Paul, who, you know, I'll take my hats off to him. I only thought a couple of years ago he was in it for the money and he was going to have a few YouTube fights, cause a bit of commotion and then leave. But look, he's been beneficial to the sport in regards to at least female boxing. We've seen what he's done with Kate Taylor, Amanda Serrano, both fights, you know, contenders for 5 years, 2 years in a row. Obviously got a few of the girls on, including Savannah, Chantel, and now even Tam. Just talk to me of, did you expect this from Jake? Did you feel like he was going to do something like this? And what do you make of his presence in the sport?
I think his presence in the sport is obviously good on a promotional side and what he does. And as you said, you know, look, these women, you know, especially Savannah, she's getting paid very well. She's even got training expenses. You know, they've looked after her, you know, first class to be fair. So you can only speak as you find. But on a promotional side, I'd imagine he'd be very good because he promotes himself exceptionally well. He's done well in his career, money-wise. So, you know, he's a clever person. So, you know, you got to commend him for that. He's very, very switched on.
Talking about Sav's opponent, obviously we're in a unification clash, Sadesia Green. Sav knows her from the days, from 2012, she told me. She goes, I've known her from the early days of amateurs and everything else. But as a job, as a trainer, I'm sure you've had time to study her and see what she goes through. What do you make of her as an opponent?
I think she's a very good opponent. She's at the very top of the division, and Savannah's going to have to be on her A game. And Savannah's going to be in for a tough fight. She's prepared for a tough fight. She knows it's not going to be easy, but Savannah's steely confident, and she's looking forward to getting in there.
I do want to talk about the main event as well, because obviously, you know, we can't walk past that because that's provided us with some great entertaining nights. But Kate Taylor, Amanda Serrano Part 3, do you feel like, you know, the third one's going to be as good as the first two? And how do you see this one playing out?
You know, who knows? You know, they know each other now. This is the third time, isn't it, as you said? And they'll both be going at it. But Katie Taylor, she's just got that way what the judges like, that style. You know, she's quick, she's in and out, she throws punches in bunches, and she's a phenomenal fighter. But so's Serrano as well. So they'll know what they've got to do, and you know, and the best person will win. But definitely it's exciting because it's not a foregone conclusion, is it?
Interesting, and it is.
They're all good fights, you know. Savannah, Shadisha Green, that's not a foregone conclusion. These fights can go anyway. When you're fighting the best in your division, you know, it'd be foolish to say, I'm going to get past there and get past there. Yeah, fighters may talk because fighters do think they're unbeatable. But me sitting back, I can see what's a serious test. And when you're fighting the best, you know, your zero or your losses is at risk. So this is it. This boxing. If anything was a foregone conclusion, we wouldn't want to see it, would we?
It is a good point. On Netflix, obviously, which is massive. We know how big the reach was for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Obviously, we were seeing the reach on Netflix just outnumbering a lot of other broadcasters because of it's in everyone's house really now at this point. Do you feel like there's any pressure coming into this fight when you see that it's at MSG's, Netflix is, you know, big crowds, everything else?
I don't think there'll be any thing for Savannah. No, I think she's very switched on. I don't think the crowds. I think anything it'll help her more than anything. I think she's excited. She's looking forward to this event. You know, she's not somebody thinking, oh, what if? You know, she's confident. She's confident in what she can do. She's confident in her boxing. She's confident in her power. She's confident in all of the ranges what we've been working on. And she's perfected them to the best of her ability. But in the gym, I'm very happy. Let's see what happens on fight night because it all depends who's in front of you.
Actually, on Netflix, we see Canelo and Crawford has been announced for it to be on Netflix, which is another big coup for boxing fans in general. You know, somebody you could be at home and you could be a casual watching now Canelo Crawford. Talk to me about that fight. How do you see this fight? There's so many sort of narratives being played out. Canelo's too big for him. Crawford's fighting him at the right time. There's so many narratives. I just want your thought, Peter, on that fight.
I'll tell you what my thoughts are on that fight. I think they're two exceptionally great fighters. And I can't wait to see it. Because Canelo, listen, all-time great elite champion. Crawford, he ticks all the boxes, doesn't he? So, you know, what can you say? I don't care who wins that. I just want to see it. And I'm going to pay money to see it. My money's being paid, no problem. I don't care.
Yeah,
We'll see it.
It is a boxing fighter's dream. Actually, it's an interesting question. Actually, what do trainers drink? What are you drinking there, Peter?
Well, I've been up since 5:30 a.m. this morning doing training sessions. So this here, I have this. It's from Applied Nutrition. They've been a long time sponsor of ours. I know the owner, the CEO, Thomas Ryder, who's a personal friend of mine. We've known each other a long time, and you know, and he's helped me and Huey all the way through. And the fighters as well. He's just sponsored now young Gradus Kraus, who's with us, coming through his career. And you know what? His products are second to none. So I take this. It's from Applied Nutrition. It says it's ABE. Okay. And it's actually cherry. It's quite nice. And, you know, it just takes it and it revives you straight away. You get a kick out of it. So it's good because when you're training and you're sweating a lot,
yeah,
you know, you got to put things back in your body, so highly recommended. I take his products. We all do.
I do want to talk about a few of the fighters in the heavyweight division that are making the rounds, and one of them is Moses Itauma. Obviously, a young heavyweight coming through the ranks, you know, touted to be the next biggest star in boxing by a few. He's fighting Dillian Whyte, which, you know, when you put two names together, it seems to be an interesting fight for Moses. But what do you make of that fight for Moses' career?
Well, experience would be on Dillian Whyte's side, and you know, speed and power and agility would have to be on the other ones. Yeah. Because when I say that, he's in and he's quick, and he's explosive. So you know, that's the difference in the two fighters. If Dillian hits you, he can hit like a tank. He's a big, strong man, but you've got to get it on somebody, haven't you? Mm. So I think that's the difference. I think it's a good fight. We've got experience against a young fighter that's when that bell goes, he's looking to destruct. So you know, that's what we're dealing with. And you know, look, I've seen the Itauma. I've seen him. He's been here. Nice kid, speaks well, gentleman actually. When he steps between the ropes, he's a different animal altogether. So he can fight. I've seen him up close. So I'm excited to see his future. But you know what it is? it's like with all young fighters. You know, let's see what they're like when the fighters ain't going anywhere and they're getting it back. Because I think he ticks all the boxes, my opinion.
Okay.
But I still like to see it. Because until we've seen it, we don't know, do we?
Yeah.
Because he's blowing everybody away at the minute. Because he's that good.
Good luck with everything else with Sav this next 3 weeks, I think it is, before, and then obviously with Huey, and you're a busy man in the next couple of weeks, so good luck with everything else.
Busy June, yeah.
Good man. Thank you very much for giving us your time as always, and speak to you at the next one. Thank you
Good
very
speaking
much.
with you.
Thank you.